By the way, a lot of times somebody would ask me this question of, Temba, what is it that you're doing? But what they don't realize is, I've always been a person who wanted to express his own opinion about business for a very long time. Coming from an entrepreneurial family, right? And when I mean entrepreneurial, I don't mean like the Maponya family, no. But we had a spaza shop in my family, right? And if there's one thing I've learned about us black people when it comes to running businesses, it's this. Back then, we used to think that just because you're getting customers, you are successful. But we forget, Ogote, during that process, you also need to look at the back end of your business. And by the way, I grew up in an environment whereby there used to be a lot of black-owned spaza shops. All right? But what led to the demise of our own people, of the township economy back then, was the fact that we became too complacent. And that was it. And the Somalians saw a gap in disrupting us. And that's why they managed to come in and do what they have to do. You must notice one thing. With Somalians, what they do is they help each other out, which is something that is very foreign to us black people. It's very foreign because had we managed to build each other up and we managed to look at the back end of each and every part of our businesses, right, we would have gone far. We would have got to a point where we actually are building value chains within our businesses, and we could have been in a position where we actually own, chains of supermarket chains, airport chains, retail chains. We could have been in those positions. But because there are a few black people who are going for those positions or who are in those positions, you know what we do? We throw stones at those people. So that is why I've always been that type of person who always used to see things ahead of time. I even remember with my family business. And personally, I think our family could have gone as far as building a multi-billion rand lube business, and with which it is possible to do. All we had to do is simple. We had a lot of lubes, and I think I remember where my dad bought most of his lubes, right? And not only lubes, chemicals as well. I remember my dad was telling me, he wanted to get into the chemical business, but he couldn't do it because he didn't know who to ask in terms of getting, who sponsors or who creates, or who is the source of the chemical business. Because I used to suggest this to him, saying, Dad, you need to you need to start building this business. Don't rely on the toilets that you have, but look at it from the back end, right? So that's what got me thinking, because I was like, but wait a minute, my dad was onto something. The fact that my dad, guys, I'm gonna say this, my dad owned the township with Luz. There was a time he did that. Like I said, like our own weaknesses in business, complacency became the norm. And he decided to lay off. Now for me, right, I was even thinking, whoa, wait a minute, you're onto something. Because having a loo business, we used to have clients that normally book loos whenever there's umngcwabo, umgidi, a party. For every occasion, we used to have bookings, clients. We used to book loos. You know what I'm saying? But my thinking was, wait a minute. These people, here's the thing. Whenever I used to go and deliver loaves, I used to look at, wait a minute, these people, they don't have chemicals, they don't have 123, 123, right? How about we extend, we upsell, right, to the same people who used to book loaves from? Hold that thought.